Maddie texts me and says she blew out a tire and broke a rim on her car, and that it would cost $700 to fix. I texted back, "I'll send you $200 early for birthday. Then maybe mom can send you a bit." Maddie texts back, "OMG!" exclamation point. "That's nice, Dad. That really helps with the car."
Y'all remember the video that I did a couple of weeks back of Maddie and her 60-year-old breakdancing dad? Well, they have both responded to one another yet again, and things just keep getting messier. He just uploaded another response video. Let's check it out.
I know my dad posted like a 10-minute video or whatever being like, you know, my daughter's lying. We have a great relationship. I have a great relationship with all my kids. That's just objectively not true. Like, guys, we're all freaking out about this in my family group chat right now. We're being like, he's so unhinged and delusional. We don't know if he actually believes his own narrative or if he's lying on purpose, but he's just like a weird guy. Yeah, he said he lived down the street from us. That's not true. Or like if he did, it was only for a few months maybe. But actually for most of my childhood, he lived in Florida with his new wife. Like basically like, I don't want to get into this. Like, again, like my video was basically like sanitizing the situation and like poking fun at the lightest parts of that childhood trauma. But obviously in real life, it was a lot more like complicated and traumatic. And it was really hard. He left us, immediately married another woman. We didn't hear from him for years. And then he would visit every few months and we'd go out to dinner. But like, he truly had no hand in raising us at all. We don't speak with any sort of regularity. He doesn't know when my birthday is. Like, as you guys saw in the video I posted, he got it wrong. He gave us some money growing up. I honestly don't know the nitty gritty of the financial situation. I really, really don't. But I do know that several times I've asked him for financial help with medical expenses, like especially like in college, and he wouldn't help me. So that's what I was referring to in my video when I was like, he wouldn't pay some of my medical bills. I'll probably delete this in the morning, but I'm, you know, 2 hard kombuchas in, and so I feel the need to kind of defend me and my family's like POV. Bottom line is this guy was a completely absent father. He's like, I was just a bike ride away from those kids. And it's like, not once did any of us ever take a bike ride to his house. I don't think I've ever been in his house ever. So this whole thing is so bizarre. Like, I'm so surprised that he responded to my video because I'm just like, damn, I could have actually made you seem like way worse than I made you seem. Like in my video, I just made you seem like such a whimsical, funny guy. Like, but in real life, it was actually a lot darker. So I'm so surprised that he responded to it. And it's obviously kind of hurtful and weird. But again, we don't really have a relationship. So at the end of the day, it doesn't have a huge effect on me. It's just kind of a bummer for my family. And we're all kind of looking at this and looking at his response. And we're just like, this is crazy. If this is actually his narrative, it's like delusional.
Now, I'm not going to go through all of Maddie's points here, most of which are just a repeat of what her mom's been telling the kids for the last 19 years.
And remember, I said that in my video. I was like, it sounds like a lot of the stuff that Maddie is saying, probably her and her siblings was fed that information by the mother. The mother can do a phenomenal job at making their children feel as though the father was absent, deadbeat, not around, even though they saw him on a regular basis. Gaslighting to a whole nother level.
18 years. Okay, so let's roll tape to see what childhood was actually like for my kids. And let's see how my relationship was with the kids even after the divorce. We have with us here Maddie Hart. She is a YouTube specialist. How many videos, Maddie, do you have on YouTube now?
About 54.
And what is your goal?
One day I want to be a partner.
What does that mean?
It means you get paid to make videos. Yeah.
So, Maddie, I'd like some more YouTube insights and clarification. What is the difference between a subscriber and a viewer and a friend? So you have about 300 subscribers, but how many viewers of your videos would you say you've had so far?
I have several thousand views on my videos, several thousand views on my channel, and about like 500 friends.
From my understanding, she has amassed millions of followers on TikTok, and I'm sure that has also translated over to her YouTube channel as well. And look at this. This looks like a father out with his kids. I don't know if Maddie is the youngest of the siblings, but I'm pretty sure she's over the age of 5 here, where she proclaimed that her father left and they hadn't seen him for some years. Did she forget about this part of her childhood? Dad is capturing the moments, and there's many more that he captured.
We're having fun here at the Deep River Water Park in Indiana, just outside Chicago. It's the largest water park in the Chicagoland area.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi.
So what are your reflections on the day? it was pretty good, except it was really mean lady.
That was a mean lady, yeah. But we took care of her. What are you reading there? What's the book?
Anne Frank.
Diary of Anne Frank?
Yeah.
Where are you in the book?
70.
Pretty light reading for the summer.
Yeah. It cost
All right.
$5.
Okay, any reflections on the day, Victoria? What did you get? What kind of ice cream did you get?
Oh, I didn't get ice cream. We got funnel cake instead.
You got what?
Funnel cake?
Funnel cake? Wow, that's pretty good. So,
I have 64 bugs.
you have how many bug bites?
64.
60. You counted them? Maddie and Olivia having a great time together.
Let's go on the black.
You want to go on the black water slide? That one over there? All right, let's go over there and do it.
Got the last single chip.
Good. All
Well,
right.
now there's more.
There you are. You look good. Yeah, I got it. All right, so how would you summarize the day at the water park?
It was pretty good. That lady was funny.
How would you rate it?
9.
A 9 out of 10? Where do you think it fell short? Why do you think that is? I don't know.
Victoria Eloise Hart. Alana Marie McCluskey. Devin Joseph.
You're going to high school? Did you have a good time? You did great up there. Yeah.
Maddie is not lying in her videos. She is saying in these videos what she perceives to be true from her perspective. She's expressing her truth. And her perception is impacted radically by 19 years of brainwashing by my ex-wife. I don't want anyone attacking or bullying Maddie for her videos. Her videos express her perspective, and I believe they are honest from her perspective. So feel free to direct negative comments my way, but please don't bully Maddie.
See, I love this. So what a lot of folks don't know is that behind the scenes, there was attacks on this man, even from the family members, right? And even though he doesn't have a solid relationship with them, he still does a fantastic job of trying to protect them. He's like, hey, send the hate my way. Leave Maddie out of this.
Now, I told Maddie I liked 98% of her video, but that there were some significant inaccuracies in there, like about me not paying medical bills. That's just not true. And the implication was that I was some kind of deadbeat dad. I paid her mom millions of dollars in alimony, child support, put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the kids' college funds, paid for their health insurance, of course, and out-of-pocket medical costs, as I should have. The result was that the kids were able to live in a wealthy suburb of Chicago, attend top colleges, and pursue very good careers. Anyways, I asked Maddie to take down her video and at least correct the damaging inaccuracies. It just wasn't true that I wasn't covering medical costs. I told her almost everyone I know had seen it, including clients. It had the potential to hurt my business, hurt me professionally. And I certainly don't think she meant any harm by her first video. But she declined to take down her video because she said her video had gone viral.
So y'all heard that, right? It meant way more to her that her video got a bunch of views than the reputation of her father and his business and his career. What she fails to realize is the amount of damage that this could have caused this man's career, regardless of him being able to clear his name or not. Because even if it comes out that he is completely in the right and she is completely in the wrong, it could still cause irreparable damage to his career. Because a potential client or his employer can look at this situation and be like, whatever y'all got going on is too messy for us to want to continue to work with you. And that can ruin him. Maddie's wrong for that. But I can see how, as a father, he would still want to protect his daughter and his family. It's still wrong.
So she didn't want to take it down. So I came back a day or so later and told her that I had posted a response video on X. I told her the video response is very mild and very positive. It just corrects a couple of inaccuracies. And at that point, my video on X only had a few hundred views.
Okay, so he put that video on Twitter. So the reason why he posted the video in the first place, responding to her the first time, is because he asked her to take the video down and she said no. The audacity of her to want to get upset at the fact that he responded with what he feels is facts.
She watched my video and seemed to like it, thought it was funny. So then I suggested, since you aren't going to take down your video and correct it, I would at least like you to post my response video on your feed. I explained to her that people will love it, predicted that it would get millions of views on her channel, because her videos often get millions of views. I also suggested to her that after my response video, I could fly out to Los Angeles. We could then do a collaboration video, sitting down together and hash out these issues.
Great marketer he is.
People would love that, I said, but she declined. So I really had no choice but to put up my response video to set the record straight, even if it only gets 200 views, which is about what I expected. Well, then my response video really started to blow up. It hit 1 million views in about 12 hours. Then 5 million views, 10 million views, 20 million views,
Crazy.
30 million views, and on up from there. Maddie's mom started to freak out, sent me long text messages telling me to take my video down. I'm like, but Maddie's video is still up and has 7 million views, and that's just on TikTok.
Exactly. The audacity, the nerve. That's how you know the mother is in the wrong and is feeding her kids that had been feeding them nonsense for years. Does her brain not work well enough to understand that Maddie started it? If Maddie never made the video that she made in the first place, this man would have never felt the need to come out and clear his name. On top of the fact that he had already asked Maddie to take the video down. Had she just simply done that, he wouldn't have had to make the video response. No, he better not take nothing down. He better not take nothing down.
Plus, Maddie has posted a much more negative second video, full of inaccuracies. Here are the basic facts. Maddie's mom and I got divorced in 2005. In America, about half of marriages end in divorce, and it's natural for young children to feel abandoned. One day, the father's living in the house, and the next day, he's not. That can feel like abandonment. Maddie's mom and I had some very ugly legal proceedings that Maddie is largely unaware of. I don't talk about it. But our divorce was probably worse than most. I lived in LaGrange, Illinois from 2007 to 2011, just down the street from the kids. Saw the kids all the time. Then in 2011, Wanda and I bought a house in Willowbrook, Illinois, which is about an 8-minute drive from the kids. Maddie's mom then got remarried in 2012. She moved to Wilmette, Illinois, which is about a 1-hour drive north from our house. The kids were older by this point. I continued to see all kids who wanted to see me. Would make the 1-hour drive to Wilmette, if any kid wanted to hang out with me.
I want y'all to listen to something. I want y'all to pay attention to something. He kept trying to do his best to be in his kids' lives. He even said not too long ago that he was willing to fly to California to do a collaboration video with Maddie, and she turned him down. But yet she gonna say, oh yeah, he wasn't there. She might have been one of the kids that was like, you know what, I don't want to see him anymore. You not wanting to see him is not the same as him not being there. Just like now, he wants to see you. You turn him down.
Now, teenage girls generally want to do their thing with their friends. I saw my son the most because he wanted to. I don't force the kids to hang out with me. If they want to hang out, cool. If they don't want to hang out, fine. Generally, teenage girls don't like to hang out with their parents. They like to hang out with their friends. Maddie is correct that the girls did not come over to the house, even though we were very close by. They came 3 times, once to our place in LaGrange, which was a bit more than a mile down the street from her house, and they came twice to our house in Willowbrook, which was an 8-minute drive. And that was it. The girls didn't want to validate my wife, Wanda. We've been married since 2006. So the girls did not want to come over to the house, even though we were just down the street. It was a solidarity thing with Mom. My son Peter would sometimes hang out at the house. He didn't seem to have any problem with Wanda. But usually we went to movies, restaurants, water parks, a beach on Lake Michigan, paintball gunfight parks, that kind of thing. Teenage girls can be absolutely brutal, by the way.
Women in general. Women in general. I hear more women nowadays tell me stories, horror stories, about the relationships, friendships, acquaintanceships that they will have with other women. They tell me all the time just how brutal women can be. And it starts when they're teenagers. I believe him. It makes what he's saying make all the sense in the world. That his teenage daughters didn't want to spend time with him. They would have much rather go hang out with their friends.
Especially on divorced dads. If you're a divorced dad with young girls, get ready for a rough ride. My only advice to you, be patient. They will grow up, and you will get along with them when they reach adulthood. All you can really do is show them that you're there for them when they want to interact with you. You can't force interaction. Eventually they will interact with you. Boys are really so much easier to raise than girls. And I'm speaking generally here. Boys do tend to get into behavior trouble, but boys are much less complicated mentally. They tend to take things in stride and don't get wrapped up in drama. Anyways, no, we did not move to Florida. Wanda and I bought a second house in Florida in 2015, but we still maintained the Illinois house. And remember, the kids were older by this point. 2 were in college, 2 were in high school.
I want y'all to take something else into account. You know, when Maddie made her second video, she didn't have the details in the way that her father does. The father can recount dates. He's always been able to recount dates for all the different stuff that Maddie might bring up. She just throws it out there. Oh yeah, I don't know. Some years went by, many years. What years? How many years? What year did it start? What year did it end? He can do that.
The kids were doing their own thing by this point. We would typically stay in Florida in the winter, and then stay in Illinois when the weather was nice, in the spring, the summer, and the fall. We would shuttle back and forth between houses. Wanda and I still travel back and forth between Illinois and Florida, even though the kids have grown up and dispersed around the country and the world, except for my son, who is still in Chicago. Okay, so Maddie graduated from Northwestern University in 2021. Upon graduation, she went to Los Angeles in hopes of becoming a Hollywood screenwriter. She asked me for $5,000 to help get her set up in Los Angeles, which I agreed to against my better judgment. Basically, I have trouble saying no to Maddie. That's another tendency of divorced dads. We really can't say no to our daughters. In addition, her mom and I bought her a used car, a Ford Fiesta. I think her mom and I pitched in $2,500 each. Maddie might have put in some money also. I think the car was about $7,500. I also co-signed a lease for her on her apartment. Now, this is very different from how I was treated by my dad when I graduated from college. My dad gave me 0 after my last day in college. He was done. Now, I'm not complaining. I love my dad. I wasn't expecting anything. And I think that's how it was for most kids in those days. Once college was done, the kids were expected to stand on their own 2 feet instantly, like the day after graduation. At some point, you just have to throw the kid into the deep end of the pool and see if he or she can make it. That's how it worked in those days, but not these days, apparently. So against my better judgment, I gave Maddie $5,000 for adulthood startup money in LA, co-signed her apartment lease, and paid $2,500 toward her used Ford Fiesta.
Oh my God. The audacity of Maddie to sit there knowing good and well her daddy gave her some money, some startup adult money, and then gonna co-sign on her apartment when she moved out to LA. How dare her say this stuff? You know how many stories of people moving out there to California on what's in their pocket? With a couple $100 in their pocket, they go out there to California and couch surf. This woman had it made. Girl, the fact that you were able at 7 years old to have dreams of being a YouTuber, a content creator, and then you actually got to the point where that happened? Privilege. Girl, you are so privileged. Shh. She ought to be ashamed of herself.
But also, she had broken up with her boyfriend around this time. She said she needed to go to grief counseling and therapy. She and her mom wanted me to pay for that too. That's where I drew the line. I consider medical care to be like when you're sick or have a broken leg or need stitches, got into a car accident, stuff like that. Not grief counseling over a breakup with a boyfriend.
I like just about everything about this man. He is so fair, so honest, so easygoing, so understanding. The degree of privilege you have to ask your parents if you can go to grief counseling because you done broke up with your boyfriend. I ain't never in my life. This is wild.
Also, counseling and psychology today are completely dominated by far-left female wokesters.
Yes.
Almost no males in that profession. So no doubt her therapist would be telling her the problem was her dad.
Oof. I'm so glad he recognized that. He couldn't be more right. He couldn't be more right. Man, what is America turning into?
The last thing I wanted to pay for was more brainwashing against her dad and against men in general. So I
Facts.
guess these were the medical bills that I was refusing to cover.
Wow.
Now, she did land a job in LA with NBC Peacock streaming, and that was going very well for her. She loved it. She was an assistant writer for a show. But then the writer's strike hit, which lasted about 6 months, and she temporarily lost her job or was laid off at NBC Peacock streaming. She, of course, approached me to see if I could help her out with funds. Otherwise, she said she'd be forced to move back to Chicago and live with Mom. So I agreed to pay her $250 per week while the writer's strike was still going on, and until she could land some other kind of work, even temporary work.
Maddie ought to be ashamed of herself. Maddie ought to be ashamed of herself. Your dad that you got a horrible relationship with, that didn't provide for you at all, that seems as though he provided for you throughout your entire life, all the way up to now. You call him up when you got fired from your job at Peacock in California and asked him if he can help you out so you wouldn't have to move back home with Mom. Ooh, man, she deserves to be punished. I'm trying to think what would be a suitable punishment from her father to her. Comment down below if you got a good one.
And I told her this would be a month-to-month thing. I wasn't going to just pay her $250 per week indefinitely. She might have to get work at a car wash or Starbucks if this writer's strike doesn't end soon. Or, God forbid, get a job at a bank. So I paid the $250 per week, I think for 10 weeks, until she was able to land a job at Netflix, which apparently was not affected by the writer's strike for some reason. She was also using the writer's strike period to build her social media career as a kind of side hustle. And she's gotten her social media side hustle to a point where she brings in some money with that. I admire Maddie for this. One thing I will say about Maddie.
It sounds like because of her father paying her some money every week, she was able to create this following on social media where she posted that video making him look bad. So she has her father to thank for her social media following. Hell, she got her father to thank for that video going viral because it was about him. Oh, she got a whole lot of thanking to do. Oh, she an ungrateful one.
She is a very hard worker. When she sets her mind to something, she will achieve it. When she was growing up, I'd always tell her, you know what I love about you, Maddie? What, Dad? You're a doer, I would say. And she said, I love that, Dad. I'm a doer. And she would repeat this throughout childhood.
I was just about to say, because a father who was there fed those words into his child, that was enough for her to be a doer throughout her life. 10 weeks, she was able to find her a better job. She upgraded from Peacock to Netflix, the king of them all. Why? Because when she was a little girl, her father told her that she was a doer. Those words stick with you forever. Those words wake you up, get you to jump up out of bed, fuel you, especially when they come from a father. My God.
I'm a doer. It became a thing. And she really is. Maddie is a doer. Here's a good story about Maddie, which I love and I hope she loves. And I think this story might change the lives of many people who watch this video. So one day she says, Dad, I want to get in better physical shape, but there's a problem. What's that? I asked. Well, I hate to exercise. I said, the reason that you hate to exercise is you are thinking about all the pain that you're going to feel while exercising. Here's what I'd like you to do. Schedule a time each day when you commit to going to the gym. You put on your gym outfit, your sneakers, and you head down there. Then, if when you get there, you decide you don't want to actually go into the gym, that's fine. Just go home. You've accomplished your goal for the day. Victory. You went to the gym, made it to the parking lot, then went home. Mission achieved. Do this the next day at exactly the same time. Maybe this happens for several days. You make it to the parking lot of the gym, then go home. Victory. But one day you'll probably decide to go into the gym and then go home, maybe without even getting on the treadmill or trying out the equipment. But then one day you might decide to get on the treadmill for a few minutes, then go home.
I want y'all to, some people might be confused at what he's saying and why he's saying it, but what he's saying is literally the marker of success for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in life. It's to understand the fact that as human beings, we are people of habit. Everything that we do is a habit. Everything. But some of us have good habits and some of us have bad habits. And some of us have both. Your job is to make sure that you have way more good habits than you have bad habits, and or to replace some of those bad habits with good habits.
Next day you might decide to stay on the treadmill for 30 minutes. The next day maybe you try out some other equipment. Then maybe you find a dance fitness class that looks appealing. You'll meet people. Fitness becomes a lifestyle. It's just something you do each day, like brushing your teeth. The main thing is to commit to starting each day. Don't think about the work. Don't think about the pain. Just start each day.
That's right.
And see what happens.
I like
if
it.
all that happens is that some days you make it to the parking lot and then go home, well, that's fine. Victory. You've achieved your goal. Mission accomplished. Maddie looks at me and says, I love that. 6 months later, Maddie had washboard abs and looked amazing. Okay, back to Maddie's Hollywood career. Eventually, the Hollywood writer's strike ended, and she got her job back on the show she was working on for NBC Peacock streaming. But she still constantly needed money from me. These Hollywood jobs pay almost nothing at the junior level. So yes, it is a financial struggle for her. But this idea that Maddie and I have not had a good relationship is just not true. Well, at least in my mind. Of course, it's possible she's thinking something differently than what she's showing. But let's just randomly scroll through our text conversations.
You heard that? It's possible that she's thinking something differently than what she's showing. How I interpret that is, it's a possibility that in her mind, she knows she got a good relationship with her father. But that goes against the narrative that she put out there. The trauma that she wanted to share with the world.
Thinking something differently than what she's showing. But let's just randomly scroll through our text conversations to see what they're like. For one thing, we're texting with each other all the time, just literally all the time. Back and forth with, little emojis and love, I love you. Hi, Dad. For Christmas, I want a specific fabric tapestry. I've been eyeing it forever, and I want it in my room so badly. It's $300.
She want the world handed to her and be ungrateful for it when she get it. Man, hey yo, any potential mates, any potential partners out there for Maddie, watch out. She gonna be asking you for a lot. And she gonna just ask it and get it from her daddy until she get it from you. She gonna say it's $300. Basically telling her dad, look, I want this, I want you to buy it, this is how much it costs.
Is this something you'd be willing to get me for Christmas instead of the usual check? I answer, okay. When will you be arriving in Illinois? 12:22, she says, exclamation point. Okay, good, I say, exclamation point. I'll be there then too. When
She know her daddy gonna do this stuff for her. She knows.
there then too. When do you get in? Looks like everyone wants to do dinner Friday night. I get in Friday. Put me down. Love. Another love here, you know, one of these love type things right here, you know, like that. And that's pretty much just kind of how we communicate all the time. It's just, you know, I love you and all this stuff.
And I want this, and can you buy me this, and all this stuff.
And she just tells me about what's going on in her life pretty much every day. My plane made it. Sorry I missed you. How was your Christmas? Thanks. You know, that's what our conversation's like, and literally they're just all the time, like that. So it just goes and 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 goes.
Mind y'all, I'm watching this with y'all for the first time, so my reactions are genuine.
So I don't know actually know how you could have a better relationship if you just read through those texts. And it's constant. Let's see, I'm scrolling through my text conversations with Maddie, and here I'm reminded that on August 7th, 2023, I pay her $750 for medical bills. Wait, I thought I wasn't paying medical bills. And I have no idea what this medical bill was. Maybe it was the counseling, maybe it was the therapy. I have no idea. And remember that birthday I forgot? Turns out I didn't actually forget it. On March 8th of 2023, Maddie texts me and says she blew out a tire and broke a rim on her car, and that it would cost $700 to fix. I texted back, I'll send you $200 early for birthday. Then maybe mom can send you a bit. Maddie texts back, OMG, exclamation point. That's nice, Dad. That really helps with the car. Then when her birthday actually arrived, I just lost track of what day it was. I'm a writer and I tend to zone out sometimes. I often don't know what month it is, much less what the actual day is. So then when I wished her a happy belated birthday a couple of days late, I guess I accidentally hit the question mark instead of the exclamation point. So it was happy birthday, question mark. It was just an error, kind of a funny error though. Happy birthday, question mark. Now the male brain would think nothing of this, but the female brain will search for hidden meaning in the question mark.
Oh my, bruh, thank you so much for just saying that. Oh my God, if that ain't every female that I ever dealt with, they be looking for mess where there ain't no mess. Oh, that joke be the most frustrating, aggravating. I'm like, I'm not about to do this with you. There's nothing there. Stop looking for stuff. Oh my God. My respect level for this man increases with every word that comes out of his mouth. It's very apparent, and maybe it's just me, but it's very apparent to me that maybe Maddie doesn't really like her father. Maybe she doesn't really care for him, doesn't respect him too much, but she knows she can get whatever she wants out of him financially. That's her father, because she knows who her father is and how he is, and that he will always be there for her. So she might be using him in a way that a gold digger would use a man that she's not interested in.
Nope, no meaning. Just a typo in a text message. Do you ever make typos in text messages? Oh, and she says to me, happy belated birthday, Dad. I had it in my calendar wrong. I hope you had the best day ever. Did you do anything fun? Thank you, Maddie. We just went out to dinner. Nothing much. Hope you are doing well. Love you.
So wait a minute, you gonna be upset with your dad about not knowing when your birthday was when he actually did, when you had to put it in the calendar to remember his birthday? today's March 4th, right? My mother's birthday is on March 7th. My mother passed away in 2015. I will never forget that date. As long as I shall live, unless I acquire some Alzheimer's disease. How you gonna forget the date of a man that's been alive longer than you have? Look, you know what?
The way I don't think my dad ever remembered my birthday. Not once. My mom always did, but not Dad. I'm not sure remembering birthdays was a thing for dads back then. My dad would come home and maybe he'd see a birthday cake out or some birthday decorations and he'd say,
Whose birthday?
"Oh, is it someone's birthday? Let's crack open some champagne." But he would never remember his kids' birthdays, not once. I'm also going to stop remembering birthdays. How about you just tell me when your birthday is, when it actually arrives, and then I'll say, "Happy birthday." And when you think about it, it really makes no financial sense anymore for males to get married. It's financial suicide for males to get married today because of the way the legal system is set up. And the big winners in divorce are the divorce lawyers. They are incentivized financially to keep the litigation going as long as possible.
Yes, that's why you be seeing these divorces that be lasting for years. Like, hey, it took 5 years for y'all to divorce. Yeah, so the dang on divorce lawyer can keep on ringing in that money. Yeah, I won't be getting married.
To make it as bitter as possible. So this system just promotes conflict, division, misery, bankruptcy. I also blame the education system. Yes, Maddie was brainwashed against her dad by her mom for 19 years. That's true. And this happens in most divorces. In a divorce situation, the mother is the one who really ends up raising the kids. It's then the dad's job to provide the money. That's how it works. Meanwhile, the mom, the ex-wife, is with the kids almost the entire time, dumping all over the dad, the ex-husband. And that's the way it works in every divorce that I've seen. But now there's this other element. The kids are also being brainwashed into leftist woke insanity by the schools, starting in kindergarten, all the way through college and grad school.
Crazy.
Girls in school are taught to hate men,
Yep.
to see themselves as victims of the so-called patriarchy. And they're taught that there are many genders. And why not consider changing your gender?
Y'all, what he's talking about right now is the reason why channels like mine, Poor Man's Podcast, MTR, Abba and Preach exist, and so on and so forth, because we recognize this, we understood this, and we're here to fight against it.
Kindergartners are taught this today. The schools should be teaching reading, writing, math, science, and marketable skills that will actually help the kids succeed in life. There is almost nothing of value being taught in the schools at any level nowadays. It's all political indoctrination into woke ideology. So here's my advice. Don't send your kids to college or even to school at all. The schools are pure poison. Homeschool your kids instead. Then instead of wasting $350,000 sending your kids to Harvard or some elite college, or any college for that matter, just have your kids learn a marketable skill for free or almost free online. There are also good courses at community colleges. A degree from Harvard carries very little weight today. Elon Musk, by the way, has said this many times. School and college are mostly a colossal waste of time and money.
Yep.
I just want things to go back to the way they were, for everything to go back to normal, where we're all having dinners, laughing, joking, and hanging out, like we were a few weeks ago at Christmas. Maddie's older sister Tori has come to some of my breakdance battles, one in Chicago, one in New York City last year. She loved it. I love Maddie to pieces. I love all my kids. And that's really all I have to say. What I prefer to be talking about is Bitcoin, and why Bitcoin is really the only hope for freedom survival.
You know what? I wonder if he's the reason why there was a recent surge in Bitcoin. Literally, the price of Bitcoin done went up like $40,000 in like the last week or two. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. It was just 36,000. Now it's like 70-something thousand. Wait, hold on now. Shit, if he's talking about it, you might want to go ahead and go buy you some Bitcoin. I ain't no financial advisor, nor is he, but shit. If you got a little spare change that it wouldn't hurt for you to lose, go ahead, throw it in there. Anyway, leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. He did a phenomenal job with this video. Much respect. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. See you.